James Wiseman is up for a contract extension. It looks like the Detroit Pistons will wait and see how he performs before they make a decision. Bleacher Report compared James Wiseman to Jonathan Isaac. His Detroit numbers are very similar. You can look that up for yourself to Jonathan Isaac's. Jonathan Isaac signed a 4-year extension worth $69 to $80 million, which would be roughly 15.5 to 17.9% of the salary cap, which in my opinion is way too much to commit to James Wiseman. Now, I might be getting this part wrong, but I believe if now that the salary cap has gone up, if you were to compare Jonathan, if Jonathan Isaac were to sign a contract extension with today's salary cap, it'd be roughly like 22 to 25 million, I think is what they were saying, which would be not starter money. But I like the Detroit Pistons. If it is a true wait and see approach, I'm glad they're doing it with this James Wiseman and not just throwing the money and the extension at him too quickly. So, but what are your thoughts? Like, what do you want to see from James Wiseman for him to earn that extension this year?
I think the Pistons are very smart for not doing this. And I think anyone watching is probably like, duh, of course they're not going to give James Wiseman an extension. Why the hell would they? I think when you look at him, it's very hard to judge if you're the Pistons contract-wise, what should we give him? Is he part of this long-term future? You just haven't really seen enough of James Wiseman to commit any type of money, even a veteran's minimum. You just haven't seen enough. I think this year the Pistons are going to give him just opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to see, can this be Jalen Duren's backup for the long-term future? Because I think that's what his role is going to be on this team. I don't see James Wiseman and Jalen Duren starting like they did in Summer League. I don't. I think if Jalen Duren can come off your bench and give you a good, let's say, 12-6, maybe 13-8 a night as a backup for Jalen Duren, I think most Pistons fans would be very happy. I think you would be happy too. But trying to give him an extension this year doesn't make any sense. You're going to have to just see what he can do this season, see if he can stay healthy, because he's another player on this roster that has had his injury woes throughout his early NBA career. I think this year he just completed his 82 games in a 3-season period. So it kind of gives you everything you need to know about him injury-wise with him. But if he can stay healthy, he can put it together. I think him as a backup behind Duren, I would love it. But, I do see some Pistons fans that, they're not the most diehard fan. Maybe they're more of a casual Piston fan. They're like, I don't get why you trade for Wiseman when you have Duren. I don't want him to stunt Duren's growth. I think the Pistons understand that Jalen Duren is a franchise center. They really do. Yeah. But I think Troy Weaver and company, they're very high on Wiseman, and they think he could be a backup center on this team long term. It's just they're going to have to evaluate him this season to see if they're willing to extend him, and they're willing to invest long-term money to a guy that has had his injury woes and stuff like that. But I think a question I have for you is, let's say he does put it together this season. Let's say he puts up 12-6 and he's efficient, blocks a few shots. What's the number you're willing to give him? Like, are you willing to give him what he's currently making right now, which is around 12 to 13 million, or would you pass on that?
It's not so much about the stats. And by the way, it is 84 games exactly that he's played with 49 starts. So you were right there with your guesstimate. But it's not necessarily so much as numbers, because last year he averaged 13-8 with 0.8 block. I'm looking at the numbers right now, shooting 53% from the field. That was with 24 games, 22 starts with the Pistons, and just under 26 minutes. Again, it's not about the numbers, but if he could come in and average 9-6, but contribute to winning basketball, I'd be willing to give him $12 million a year, because I think that size, that athleticism, taking a role off the bench, being a piece, and forgetting the individual stuff, but being piece to a larger, being part of the team in a larger way, if that makes sense. By sacrificing, I'd be willing to give him $12 million, but it has to contribute to winning. I don't care about I hate the term empty stats because guys have to put up numbers regardless. But if you're going to give me 13-8 a game, but we're still a 17-win team, it doesn't make sense for me to throw money at you. You're just a talented guy putting up numbers that are meaningless. But if you can give me 9-10 a night with like 6 or 7 rebounds, but you're winning, you're playing winning basketball, you're playing within the flow of the team, you're not getting tunnel vision on offense, you're giving effort defensively, you're giving effort on the boards, I would be happy with the Pistons giving them the Marvin Bagley contract. That's not bad, but it has to contribute to winning. It can't be empty stats. It can't be tunnel vision, playing out of the offense. It can't be any of that crap. Play winning basketball, make winning plays, then you get your money, man. And I don't care about the numbers. Just play winning basketball.
Yeah, I think that's like my thing with Wiseman right now is I think there's a majority of fans that want to see him succeed.
Yeah.
They do. There's the Wiseman flock out there that they want him to succeed because, you know, he kind of got a raw deal in Golden State, obviously with Steve Kerr and those guys over there, but he's got every opportunity to carve a role on this basketball team because this is still a young team and no one has earned their spot in the rotation.
Yeah.
Especially off the bench. I think the only players I could really say that has earned their spot in the rotation is Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, and Bojan. Everything else, like, you got to earn. And I think he has a great opportunity to try to earn his spot in this rotation night in and night out. He's got all the talent in the world being a number 2 overall pick. He's got, you know, touch around the rim. He's shown you that he can hit a mid-range. Saw a little bit of passing in the summer league. He can stretch out. He can, you know, knock down a 3-point shot. It's just, he just needs more reps. And I think he'll get it this season. It's to kind of piggyback of what you said. Like, if he goes out and he's giving you 9 and 6 and he's playing winning basketball, he's blocking shots, he's, you know, contributing to where you feel comfortable for him as a backup on this team, then yeah, I probably would feel comfortable too, giving him around that 12 to maybe $13 million range if he's willing to accept it. But, you know, he just has to stay healthy.